everyone, and welcome to our exclusive interview with world-renowned airbrush artist Mike Lavallee, whose clients range from your everyday guy to celebrities such as Johnny Depp, Jack Osbourne, and Gwen Stefani. He has also been featured on several shows such as West Coast Choppers, Monster Garage on Discovery Channel, TLC's Overhaulin, and Rides. Mike offers everything from bespoke interior design to custom-painted helicopters and private jets. And today, he is here to answer my questions and yours. Mike, you're particularly known for your TrueFire airbrush technique, which has really had a huge impact on the automotive world.
Well, it didn't start at TrueFire. It started mostly with wildlife artwork. I was a wildlife artist back in the day. When I created this TrueFire effect, it seemed like everybody wanted it, and everything else kind of went by the wayside, or they didn't know about it. So now I'm kind of pigeonholed for this technique, and like I'm the fire guy. But back in the day, you'd see that I do wildlife, portraits, scenery, still lifes, everything. Anything to do with artwork that you can think of, I can do it. So fire is just a very small piece of what I do, but it's the most well-known.
Where did you come up with the idea for the custom refrigerators?
When I first moved into this building, the stall next door had this old 1950s Philco refrigerator sitting there. It was just a shop refrigerator, and my landlord at the time, he asked me, he said, you want that thing? I look at them like people look at, like hot rodders look at old rusty cars sitting in the field. Most people look at that like a piece of junk needs to be taken to the scrapyard. I look at it as a potential piece of artwork. So I took it, and it worked fine, so we refinished the metal, painted it, did artwork on it, put some neon on it, did custom shelves in it, and it sits in my showroom now. It's been sitting there ever since I opened the shop. Pirates of the Caribbean, Avatar, Hellboy. I have a B-17 bomber refrigerator that makes noise. It sounds like a bomber. Oh, Pink Floyd fridge is really cool too. Every time you open the door, you get a different Floyd song. They're fun.
And the detail though, you've got custom shelving, neon backlighting.
And it's not one that you would stick in your kitchen. You know, these are made for like man caves, home theaters, garages. They're just fun. When people see them, they flip out over them because they've never seen anything like it before. But they know they want one. So I gotta have one of those. You know, can you do this? Can you do that? Which is a skeletonized version of themselves. It's sort of like a tongue-in-cheek, artsy, dark side homage to that person's character. The very, very first one I did on a show called Rides. It was the episode was called Dark Side, and it was for Jack Osbourne, Ozzy Osbourne's son. And he had a BMW SUV, and the graphic that we did on the side was sort of like a tribal type of graphic with skulls inside of it. And then we came around to the hood, and we were like, well, what are we going to do with the hood, you know? And I said, why don't we take the whole family, make them into, like, skeletonized versions of themselves? Because it kind of fit Ozzy and his crew. There was a cover of a magazine that was out at that particular time. And I said, let's do this. So we put the whole family on the hood of the car, and it came out perfect. And that was the very first one. And I think it was 2004. And then I'd done several other ones.
You haven't really debuted all of them yet.
No. People have seen a few of them. I have probably about 8 of them right now, and some of them are quite large. I have a Clint Eastwood that I did. Clint made the perfect celebrity. He was actually the very first one that I did as a celebrity. After I came up with the idea, then I wanted to make a collection. So Clint was the very first one that I did, and still my number one favorite. And you either love them or you don't, but most people like them because they get it. And I want to do about 30 of them before I put them into a collection. Actually, I had an idea where I want to get them in a gallery, have the show open on Halloween. So either in Los Angeles or in Las Vegas. Where else would you do it?
Now, you often collaborate on elaborate and very meticulously designed custom projects with other artists. Are you the mastermind?
For clients, most people have an idea of what they want, but they're not they're not rock solid on it. And then I'll take their idea and run with it. And I have the ability to put a visual in their head I can describe what I'm going to do, and they can see the picture in their head instantly, you know. So, but with other artists, no, I respect all their talents, and so we kind of bounce off each other, just like musicians. I'll play a riff, and then he'll play a riff, and together we'll come up with something really cool, you know. When it comes to other artists, yeah, I totally trust what they're into, and then we work together.
What is one of the coolest and also perhaps one of the oddest or most unique requests that you've had?
The oddest one was when I first started out, and I was working at motorcycle rallies, pinstriping motorcycles and doing hand-painted artwork. I had this big burly biker guy pull up on his bike and kind of walk over to me, and he sits down in the chair and he's looking at my book, and he's like, "Can you paint anything?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, no problem," right? So he pulls up his pant leg and he shows me his leg. He goes, "Can you paint this?" I'm like, "You want me to paint your leg?" He goes, "No." He goes, "I want you to paint this one." And he pulled up his other pant leg, and he had a prosthetic leg from the knee down. And I go, "Okay, what do you want me to paint on that?" You know, he goes, "I want you to paint this one to look like that one, and I want you to put a tattoo on it, like a heart with an arrow that says mom on it." And I was like, "Okay." Sure. So he took his leg off and handed it to me. And then he hops over to his buddy, gets on his bike, and they take off. He goes, "I'll be back later for it." And I'm standing there with this leg in my hand, staring at it like, what do I do with this, right? So I better get it right, or he'll beat me to death with it when he comes back, right?
You actually work in fine detail and produce a full mural in a very short amount of time.
It comes from working on the road, painting motorcycles. At a rally, people would come to the rally, and I'd set up my tent there, and people would come to me to have some work done, but they didn't come to the rally just to have me work on their bike and then go home. So you had like 1 hour to 2 hours to create something really cool. I've learned to work fast and get down images quickly.
An airbrush all these years, where do you see yourself to have ventured with all of your creativity?
Would definitely be something creative. I mean, I can sit and have lunch and I'll be messing around, you know. Yeah, it would. I don't know exactly what it would be, but it would definitely be something artistic for sure.
And
maybe music.
There you go. Do you have any specific trade or artist in particular that you would really like to work with?
Seattle, there's a ton of glass work here. You have Chihuly, you know, just down the road. I love blown glass. I've always been fascinated with it. You know, molten glass and working with glass and watching what they can do with it.
So Mike, what's next for you? Is there any current or upcoming projects that we can be on the lookout for?
I've always had this idea of maybe doing something in the home, you know, for designers, that type of thing. So now I'm doing, it's gonna sound really weird, but I'm doing sinks, like kitchen sinks and bathroom sinks and you know, ladies' powder room type of thing, tubs, you know, big clawfoot tubs. I want to take something that, again, is ordinary and making it extraordinary. I mean, they decorate everything else. I get the question, well, why a sink? And I'm like, why not? You paint your car. Why are you painting your car? You paint your airplane. Why are you painting your airplane? Because you want to. Because it's an expression of your own personal, you know, artistic taste or whatever, you know. So
really any surface.
Yeah, it's a lot. Anything that sits still, I can paint. And if it doesn't sit still, I got lots of tape.
Perfect.
Just like hold them down.
Great. Well, thank you, Mike, for having me here today at your shop. You can find more from Mike Lavallee at his website, killerpaint.com, where you can also find an awesome gallery of his work, learn more about the True Fire technique, as well as his exclusive products. Likewise, you can find more from us at bglifemagazine.com, my site, facethecurrent.com, and get social with us on Facebook and Instagram.